At Evernorth Health Services, we believe costs shouldn't get in the way of life-changing care, and we're doing everything in our power to make it possible. Behavioral health solutions that also keep your projections at their best? It's possible. Pharmacy benefits that benefit your bottom line? It's possible. Complex specialty care that cares about your ROI? It's possible. Because we're already doing it. All while saving businesses billions. That's Wonder made possible. Learn more at evernorth.com/wonder.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Savaged.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again.
More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
No!
Savaged. Unfiltered.
The only reason I know this is because I lived under tyranny. I lived.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking...
Your host, Michael Gardner.
Proper fashion at the proper time.
Like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, we made it.
Millions of people around the world don their best green attire every March 17th to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But there is a lot we bet you didn't know about Ireland's patron saint. To start with, St. Patrick wasn't even Irish. He was born around the 5th century in Britain, then part of the Roman Empire. At 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and spent 6 years in captivity.
What?
He converted to Christianity and later returned to Ireland to spend the rest of his life working as a Christian missionary. After Patrick died on March 17, 461, he was largely forgotten until mythology and legend grew, and centuries later he was honored as the patron saint of Ireland. According to one famous myth, Patrick drove all the snakes from Ireland. The story symbolized Patrick cleansing the island of paganism. There's just one problem. Ireland never had any snakes to begin with. The Emerald Isle is surrounded by water too frigid for snakes to migrate there, whether from Britain or anywhere else. According to another famous story, Patrick used the 3 leaves of the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity. As a result, people in 18th century Ireland started wearing shamrocks on March 17th to signify their Irish Christian pride. That tradition later grew into wearing green clothing, a popular St. Patrick's Day custom today. Though shamrocks don't really exist, we know them as any one of several 3-leaf plants, such as wood sorrel or white and yellow clover. As important as St. Patrick is to Irish history, we bet you didn't know the tradition of celebrating March 17th with parades actually started in America. The parade tradition really took off after the Great Potato Famine hit Ireland in the 1840s, sending hundreds of thousands of Irish immigrants pouring into New York, Boston, and other American cities. The first record of a St. Patrick's Day parade in New York dates to 1762, when a group of Irish soldiers serving with the British marched a few blocks to a tavern in Lower Manhattan. Today, it's the largest and longest St. Patrick's Day parade, boasting close to 200,000 participants and nearly 3 million spectators each year. So this March 17th, we hope you'll be wearing green and toasting to some St. Patrick's Day history that we bet you didn't know.
Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered. I'm your host, Michael Gardner. I want to welcome myself back. That's right, guys. I want to welcome myself back, and I want to welcome myself back to the podcasting world here of Spotify, iHeart. See, I got the Irish accent in me today. iHeart Radio, Apple Music. We're all over the place, guys. So we're back here after just about 2 weeks of our hiatus here. I had to visit some family members up in Northwest Georgia, up in Cartersville, which is part of the Blue Ridge Mountains, beautiful area. Not for me. I was feeling a little blue when I first got there because of the weather change, but took a couple of green teas and some herbs, and I'm back in it, guys. And of course, I got the bottle of water here for the show, so just in case I need to catch up with Joseph here. But guys, we're gonna bring Joseph here into the panel here. Welcome, Joseph. How's it going, buddy?
Going good. Two things. Yes. Mature audience, parental advisory suggested, because you never know when my Tourette's will kick in and I'll go off on fuck.
Oh God, Joseph. We hope not. I hope you don't go into your Tourette's.
The other thing, but seriously, you mentioned the Blue Ridge Mountains. So now, thank you. Now, thank you. I've got that stupid country roads take me home, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River tune in my head. No, thank you.
Yeah, well, pun intended, right, Joseph? Pun intended. So we're gonna talk about St. Patrick's Day, guys. Or for most of people out there, it's known as St. Patty's Day or Irish Day. There's so many different names behind it. I don't know, Joseph. What do you call it, man?
Excuse to drink green beer day. Yeah.
Yeah. The green beer. Oh shit, I just forgot. I remember that. Yeah, a lot of bars they do with they put the green dye in the beer.
And in Chicago, they dye the canals green. It's an excuse to hide the pollution for a day by dyeing it green.
Oh God. Yeah. So fun stuff. I drank a little bit this past week up in Georgia, guys. I had my early St. Patrick's Day with the family and went to a couple of bars with my cousins, and we had a good time. Really good time.
Yeah, did you tell them I was joking with you about them being up in the mountain rednecks and don't get too close to the still, you might burn yourself. But definitely drink the shine, it puts hair on your chest. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tried. My cousins were giving me shit about my book, but other than that.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. Thanks for letting me in on that. That was a fun conversation.
Yeah, my cousin Tina was like, for your first book, you should have had the grammar correctly, presented. I was like, it's my first book, and I don't think grammar matters. And Joseph actually said that grammar doesn't matter anyway these days.
Well, grammar doesn't matter as much in a nonfiction because you're dealing with a writer's style. Yeah. But in a fiction book, I meant to say. In a nonfiction book, which kind of yours is, and my How to Write a Book and Get It Published is, the grammar and everything does matter a bit more because, it's meant to be more of a pure English delivery. It's meant to be informative. It's meant to be newsworthy. It's meant to be straightforward. You're supposed to you're supposed to do it straight up news style, which would be grammar correct. But
Joseph, all that political correctness bullshit, right?
Well, I'm not addressing that aside. But I have a meme I like to share about grammar Nazis. And I've got a story about that. The other day, I went to Mally's Bar and Grill. Speaking of Irish, I plan on going there for lunch the minute we're done today to get a burger. They got a burger and fries deal for $10 before 3 p.m. That's not a bad.
What a bargain.
Yeah, it's a good deal for a bar burger and fries, right? So, but on their special menu, it says restrictions do apply. Well, the word do wasn't needed in the first place. Restrictions apply, it should say. But do was spelled D-U-E. So me and the waitress got a good laugh after I pointed it out. And I said, I've got a meme I like to share about grammar Nazis. I hate grammar Nazis, but you do want a grammar Nazi editing your book. You do. But let me grab it. Hold on.
Okay. Well, while Joseph grabs that, what he's going to grab here.
This off because I intend to take it to Mally's today. Hopefully, Haley, the waitress I was joking with, will be there.
It's warping your face.
Yeah.
You're turning into the Sandman.
There we
again
go.
From,
Can you see
Batman.
it?
Yeah, we can see it.
It says, take that, grammar Nazis, and see the spelling of there all screwed up. So I love sharing that meme whenever a grammar Nazi who, of course, they engage in grammar Nazism to attack you the way you say something because they can't deal in the substance of your point. If you're dealing in logic, reason, common sense, facts, evidence, they can't deal in that. So they have to attack you Saul Alinsky style with ad hominem deflection, diversion tactics.
Oh, yeah, they love coming with those tactics, Joseph. They really do. And some of the liberals, they might see that wording and they were like, "Oh, did a 5-year-old write that?" No, it's presented the way it's supposed to be presented. But yeah, today's St. Patrick's Day, guys. I call it St. Patty's Day. I've been calling it St. Patty's Day for, since I was a little boy. I think I get it from my mother. My mother used to say St. Patty's Day. We have a little Irish blood in our bloodline here in the family, but we're mostly Polish, French, and Portuguese. So
yeah,
a little bit of Scottish too. I think we have a little bit of Scottish. I'm not sure.
I have not run an ancestry test to fully know, but I'm mainly Italian, German, and Polish. But
I was gonna say you do look like you.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
This episode is brought to you by La Quinta by Wyndham. Your work can take you all over the place, like Texas. You've never been, but it's going to be great because you're staying at La Quinta by Wyndham. Their free Bright Side breakfast will give you energy for the day ahead. And after, you can unwind using their free high-speed Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book your stay today at lq.com.
Do look Polish, Joseph. Yeah, I think it's the face. But
there's a Polak joke in there somewhere, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? Right.
Yeah.
Classics there.
You gotta laugh about yourself, people.
Yeah, you have to
have a sense of humor, and there are some Irish around. But I was born and raised Catholic, so Catholics usually call it St. Patty's Day, also, for whatever reason.
Yeah. So last time we tried to get these overlays in, guys, and I apologize because Joseph and I had to go to old formula of terrestrial radio, where we had to speak through audio format. And Joseph hates that because he's like, I got to show my face as much as humanly possible. So I was going to say, Joseph, how do you like the overlays? I think it's an improvement since
it looks good.
The StreamYard days, yeah.
Yeah, and you reminded me too. I was starting to say about joking about Tourette's and swearing on air, and you mentioned terrestrial again. It reminded me. Actually, I usually don't swear a whole lot. If I do, it's usually like a joke like I just did, or if some libtard snowflake gets me so heated that I blow a gasket. Because I'm on terrestrial radio on Wham Radio every weekend, every Saturday. So I have to be FCC friendly. So I don't want to get in the habit of swearing on this podcast like I could, because then I might slip up while on Wham Radio and have a problem.
Well, speaking of slip-ups, there was a lot of slip-ups with the meeting with Joe Biden and the Prime Minister of Ireland.
It's a big day in my grandparents' household, our household, big day here. And and I know a bigger day home. But thank you very much. And, you know, there is a Yeats' phrase about, you know, I think there's where a man's most glory begins and ends is the glory to have such friends. We've been a great friend. Been a great friend of the United States, and Ireland and the United States share friendship and long, long traditions. And I guess you do know, coming here as many times as you have, how many Americans look forward to St. Patrick's Day. And one of the, as millions of Americans of Irish heritage, we have a joke and we have an event that
and, you know, engaging in other social media flame wars to libtards.
They love it. I think that's their high, Joseph. They love getting high. You know, just listening to us speak the truth and educate them. They don't like that, you know.
So yeah. Hi, Clueless Nation. We know you're out there.
Hey, speaking of Clueless Nation, Joseph's probably going to ring me up a new head here. I made an appearance while I was up in Georgia on their show the other day.
God.
And Tommy was begging me to come on there, and he's like, thank you, bro. You know, I really appreciate you coming on here because we've been having, you know, an on-air warfare in the last few months now with different topics.
Before you go any further, seriously, calling you bro, what a racist piece of shit. That is racist. You can't call someone of another race bro, especially if you did that as a white guy to him as a black guy, you'd be labeled racist. So, you know, just got to get in the usual left-wing loon, Clueless Nation, double standard, hypocrisy bullshit.
Yeah, Joseph, I thought I was white the last time I checked myself in the mirror. You know, I don't have any type of condition like Michael Jackson or anything. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I am a white person. So yeah, I've calling a white person bro and you're you know, a black individual, that would be classified as racist, I think.
Although of course technically we are all brothers in Christ,
right?
For those of us who are religious. But oh shit, I forgot where I was gonna go with that next. But hopefully it'll come back to me.
Joseph's having a what do they call that? Like a twister moment. It's got
I'm having another on-air stroke. If you haven't seen the Rumble latest behind the scenes, you gotta see me mumbling, bumbling, stumbling when Restream was acting up. Michael showed that. It looks
Joseph
like
actually
I was having a stroke.
Yeah, you were. And then, you know, we got to see like Joseph saying I'm like, Joseph, we got to another 10 minutes before we start the second segment. He's like, all right, let me go take a shit. I'll be right back. Sauce is like, oh, thank you for the information, Joseph.
No, not that behind the scenes one. The last one you did was when the Restream screwed up and you dropped off and I kept talking, expecting to come back, and you never did. And usually, as you know, you usually have to shut me up. I'm never at a loss for words. I could keep rambling endlessly, but that day I was like,
you know, Joseph, that was the first time I seen that behind the scenes of you talking like that for almost 8 minutes, because I didn't see it. Like the whole damn camera on my end and the network froze up on me. So that was the very first time, you know, Shaky put it on the playback. He's like, yeah, Joseph was talking for 8 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize that. Damn.
Yeah, I kept going, expecting you to come back. And then when I hung up, I just assumed that all of it was gone, lost. And then all of a sudden, I see you put it up as a behind the scenes. And I'm like,
no, it was hilarious.
God.
Yeah.
I look like a idiot. Mumbling and stumbling.
You could definitely tell you weren't talking on script. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes... You know, not to lie. I mean, I have it too, Joseph. Sometimes we have notes, you know, make sure we don't screw up or not like that. But you could definitely tell Joseph didn't have notes. You know, he was he was winging it, man. I mean, you know, just full blown winging it.
Yeah, and bit rate, streaming bit rate. I'm a former IT guy.
Yeah.
I knew what word I was looking for. Bit rate. But
Yeah.
for the life of me, I could not dig that word out of my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. The bit rate. Yeah. We like to go like between like 40 to 4,800. I think that's the really, really good, strong signal, the bit rate that we use. But yeah, man, I was showing some of the work here at a family guys while I was up in Georgia, and they thought it was hilarious. Speaking of Joseph not putting periods and commas in, they're like, I showed this to my aunt, like a couple of them, not all of them, because she's not high on the political views, Joseph, but she was like, you should give him the host and give you the co-host part. I was like, why? She's like, he carries the whole damn show. And you're like, you just like sit there like a totem pole. I was like, what? That's not right. For my own family member.
Yeah, just throwing you under the bus. And that's
definitely. They threw me all under the bus.
You gave me that segment, Truth and Consequences. And in that, for the opening of that segment, you took that. The one time you gave me to open the show, and I said, do not adjust your sets. I'm not Michael Gardner. I'm hijacking the broadcast. So she wants me to hijack it full time, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And speaking of truth or consequence, guys, we'll have that back in next week, Joseph. Guys, you got to apologize. I've been from Georgia to Florida. I really haven't had time to do any graphics or any content into it. So this is pretty much like a free-for-all type of episode, even though every episode is free-for-all, but you know what I mean. I hope everyone understands what I mean by that. But yeah, we'll have truth or consequences of Joseph's segment next week, and then Sauce is going to be coming back next week. Sauce Joseph, he's doing a lot of hearings. I don't know if you guys have been communicating, but he's been public hearing after public hearing there between Wisconsin and where he goes to school there in Minnesota. So yeah, he's like, I wish I could come on the show. I just don't have time. I said, I understand. He's battling liberal madness over there between the both states.
Absolutely. It's like the God's Not Dead, the original movie with the student dealing with the left-wing loon wokist indoctrination and the professor demanding they write God is dead. And and that's all those God's Not Dead films. You should see them all. They're based on reality, and it's not just about religion. It's about wokeism, pathetical corruptness, as I call PC in general, and the indoctrination going on in our schools. So those are worth seeing, even if you're not a Christian. Don't look at them as Christian films. Look at them as a left-wing destruction of America documentaries.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of, what we're talking about with St. Patrick's Day, because St. Patrick's Day, folks, it's whether you want to call it a spiritual holiday or a Christian holiday or a Catholic holiday, it's a holiday through God. And that's my personal opinion, Joseph. And again, St. Patrick's Day now is getting a lot of bashing, with its name, I know some states they haven't had their St. Patrick's Day parades as much as they once have. That's a lot of the parades are getting canceled now. I don't know how it is up there in Detroit, but what's going on with the parades up there? Are they canceling them, or are they still doing them?
Wyandotte never had one, but we do have a bunch of Irish pubs. So we have a pub crawl at night. So, the city kind of promotes that to promote the.
Well, you gotta cater the alcoholics, though. You know what I
mean? but we've never had a parade here in Wyandotte, and I've never paid attention whether we had one in Detroit, or if they had one and canceled it and don't do it anymore or not. But yeah, a lot of these things are due to Bidenflation and Biden recession, soon to be entering a Biden depression. We just cannot afford to do all these things anymore. We got to cut out some of the excess, unnecessary expenses. And,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible, Joseph. I mean, we're watching our wallets more than ever. I mean, just when I was up in Georgia, just a day ago, literally just came back yesterday, guys. Just over the week. I mean, the prices up there are no different from what I'm paying here in Florida. A gallon of gas actually is a lot more expensive. It's more expensive up there than it is here.
And what isn't shutting down due to bad economic policy from the fascocrats, destroying the economy, creating massive runaway inflation, and the falsehood of all these jobs being created when it's actually people just finally returning to work after the Wuhan hysteria. They ain't new jobs, they're old jobs. The labor participation force is at a record low still, a new record low after the record low Barack blunder created, due to his bad economic policy. And what isn't closing due to bad economics and hard times, a recession? Walmart is closing the rest of its Portland stores due to bad Democrat soft on crime policy and allowing shoplifting up to $500. They can't afford to stay open there. And I really don't give a damn about the leftists there. You got what you voted for. Good, close them down. But I am very sympathetic to the poor workers who are now going to be out of a job, and the poor people that live there that are now going to be in a food and shopping desert because there's no stores due to the policy. But unfortunately, hey, Portland morons, if you're a Portland Walmart worker or you dependent on those, if you voted for the Democrats, you got what you fucking deserve.
Yeah. I had to hear from certain people, where I used to live up in Georgia, last year. They would tell me, "Oh, everything is going to get a lot better. We have great leadership now. We have great people in the White House in Washington, and things are finally going to get done. We have an actual leader that's going to be for and by the people." After listening to this, I was like, laughing my ass off, and I'm like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?"
You should do comedy on the weekend. That's funny. Yeah.
Go sit in the improv. Yeah. Tell me another joke, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, please stop. My belly hurts.
Now, Joseph, I go back to the same people, or at least I try to. I talk to them on the phone or the FaceTime or whatever, and I say to them, I was like, "All right, where's that great leadership you were talking about a year ago?" You know what they do? The jaw drops. They don't know what to say. Just like Clueless Nation the other night. A couple nights ago when I was on his live stream. Yeah.
All predictable. We told you. We warned you. You saw it during 8 years of Barack blunder. Yeah. And this is his third term. The energy, independence we finally got and made our allies safer and secure.
Oh, I know it's his third term. You look at you look at the script, Joseph. The whole script that Biden reads off of on a daily or whatever weekly basis. That's like Obama 2.0 written all over it. Every little sentence, every little word, every little thing of how Biden expresses himself over television. I'm like, I'm really looking at Barack Obama. I mean, yeah, Joe Biden's standing there, but it's really Barack Obama speaking that, because everything that Barack Obama spoke in his 8 years of his presidency, Joe Biden is literally copying off of every little detail.
Yep. And again, an energy independent U.S. then able to export to our allies makes the world a safer and more secure place, keeps us and our allies independent and not requiring oil from Iran or Russia or China. It reduces our dependence on them, and the left doesn't want that. The left wants to destroy America. And terror strikes coming soon to a city near you. to promote the book is about that, not just about terrorism, but American fascocrats more in line with Giza and Putin and Xi and the Ayatollahs than the average U.S. citizen, destroying Western culture from within.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Joseph. Before we go any further, guys, I wanna put in some QR codes before we conclude the show here. Some really good QR codes, guys. Just you heard Joseph mentioning his book there, Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You. You can, get this book all over the place, guys, all over. We'll put up the QR codes, get rid of the overlay so you can see it a little bit better. Guys, if you go over to Amazon, which is, I use Amazon. Joseph, he likes to promote on Amazon too and other avenues, but his books are all over the place, Smashword, but I prefer Amazon because it's so easy. If you scan that QR code, guys, okay, right to Joseph's book, it's going to pop up with his book and his second book, How to Write a Book and Get It Published, Hints, Tips, and Techniques. Sorry about that, Joseph. Didn't mean to screw that last part up. But yeah, just click that QR code, guys, and it's going to go right to that book. Also to the book here, America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War. Like I said, take your cell phone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone, scan that QR code, and it will go right to the book, guys. Amazing books. And then also two here, we'll do two more here, and then we'll be QR code out here. Too many gives me a headache, I think, right? Anyway, guys, this is the main QR code here for the show, Savage Unfiltered Podcast. Like I said, scan that QR code, and you can find every episode, guys, from the pilot episode going back 4 years ago when we were Patriot Angle Podcast before we made the rebrand, and amazing stuff, guys. I have new listeners now that are like just catching up. They email us and they're like, oh, we haven't even got to the 4th season yet. We're still in the 2nd season. All right, guys. Hopefully when you get to the current season, God only willing knows when that will be with you guys. We'll probably be up to season 7 or 8 when you're just getting to 3 and 4. But guys, amazing stuff. My good friend Soslin Teemison with his show, The Sosh Report. Like I said, always love promoting friends here and personalities that come on the show here of Savage Unfiltered. You can reach Sauce here on his show, The Sosh Report. Amazing stuff, guys. But we're gonna get back to the show here. Get rid of the QR code. There we go. But anyway, back to the show.
You mentioned Amazon, and I don't wish to demean and diminish them. I order stuff through Amazon, so I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here.
Right.
Frankly, Jeff Bezos has enough billions, so I prefer Books A Million or Barnes and Noble online because Amazon's put most of the brick and mortar bookstores out of business and sell 80% of all books. Plus, of course, you could go to josephmleonard.us or terrorstrikes.info, buy an autographed copy direct from me. Use discount code SU for Savage Unfiltered. I'm going to go right now and make sure that discount code is indeed still active.
Wait, Joseph, did you say FU or SU?
SU.
I could have sworn there was an F there. Like fuck you.
Okay. Yeah, for Savage Unfiltered. SU,
okay.
yeah.
SU, yeah, the abbreviation. I thought he was like use promo code FU. Like, what? The fuck kind of promotion is that? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to throw a joke in there. Yeah, SU.
Yeah, that's good. No, I'm glad because I'm usually Joe the Joke Man Leonard, trying to keep things light. Exactly. For 20% off, use SU plus U.S. shipping only. I will throw in that on an autographed copy. You can't get that from Amazon.
No, not that I know of.
Nope. You
No,
can't.
they only have the regular copies. There's no autographs in there.
Yeah.
Even regular authors don't. That you can't even get an autograph from other authors. Like other
Right.
authors, you
No,
can't.
not
It's not an exclusive thing on Amazon. Hopefully
not
one day
at
it'll be,
all.
but
Yep,
yeah,
not
man.
at all. And I forgot again what I was going to say. I'm having another stroke on air.
Those twisters, I'm telling you, they're all over the place. And F5s on Savage Unfiltered here. Jeez.
But 20% off the list is pretty good. Plus, I'm throwing in shipping. So yeah, that's a lot cheaper than Barnes and Noble and Books a Million. And again, you can't get that an autographed copy from Amazon. They may discount the book a lot, but actually you might be getting a used copy and they're not telling you.
Yeah.
Also, you can't use a discount code on Amazon. This is only good on Joseph M. Leonard US. If you click buy there, it actually takes you to terrorstrikes.info/shop, where the actual shop is. And that's good on either or both of my books.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mentioned, guys, we did just promote the QR code through Amazon, but it's also available, like Joseph said, it's available on a lot of different outlets. Barnes & Noble, Books a Million.
You mentioned
Smashwords. Yeah.
Smashwords, right.
Yeah.
I use Smashwords to create a Barnes & Noble Nook version. You don't have to get the Kindle. You could get the Barnes & Noble Nook version, or you could get the Apple Book ebook version. You're not stuck with just Kindle, because again, Jeff Bezos has got enough damn money.
Yeah. Let's stop funding him, right? I mean, go to the other ones. Go to the smaller mom and pops. I mean, I call them mom and pops because they're not as large as Amazon, but they're still great companies. Like I use Smashwords for my book, America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War. That's on Smashwords. I'm trying to get over to Barnes & Noble. It was on Barnes & Noble and Books a Million, but we were having issues with what we used for the publisher. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'd rather make it simple, not harder for people to try to get the book.
Going through Smashwords, it should automatically be available for Nook and Apple Books.
I haven't checked it yet. I'm going to check it after we get done with this, because I was thinking about that for a while now. I'm like, that book's got to be on.
Yeah,
it's on the ebook, right? On Barnes & Noble, it won't be available in softcover, right?
Theirs is called Barnes & Noble's Nook, but it should be on their site, available for Nook, or Apple Books, available for their Apple Book ebook. And also, people, if you have a local brick and mortar bookstore still near you, go there with the ISBN code or just the title. They can look it up, order it, get it in, and you could buy it there locally. Support my local mom and pop shops. Shop local when and where you can. Help your local community economy whenever and wherever you can. Like on terrorstrikes.info/affiliates, you'll see Books Connection in Livonia, Michigan. I have a working relationship with them. They're the closest bookstore to me, owned independently, and they're several miles away from me, but I want to promote them. You can go to terrorstrikes.info/affiliates and hear an interview I did with the owner of Books Connection in Livonia.
Oh wow, that's some good stuff. Really good stuff. Guys, we got a couple announcements here, and then we'll close it out here. We have a liberal media group joining us here. We're supposed to have them on Monday, but I have things I have to do on Monday, and I can't get it done. So we're going to be in connection with them. We just emailed them, and they're still willing to come on, but it's going to be a liberal media group by the name of Red Rose Media.
Yeah,
I said that to Joseph last week, and he's like, I wonder if they're affiliated with Red Rose, like the media, like the movie group, right, Joseph?
Yeah, there's a new, I think it's a Netflix series called that. It's probably some woke thing, so
Yeah.
they'll
Well,
probably love it. But yeah, this is going to be another Sweaty Penguin episode with
oh
them
yeah.
spewing a bunch of delusional garbage and us regurgitating facts and evidence that dispute their delusion.
Yeah. Yeah. They said they're get ready, guys, because they're bringing the fire on Savage Unfiltered. They want to put this fire extinguisher on a conservative group here, such as myself, Joseph, and Sauce. They said we need to be shut up and we
Good
need to
luck
be
with
mashed
that.
up. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Like I said
yeah.
on Clueless Nation Tuesday night. You know what they say, Joseph? They're like, well, at least Joe Biden's honest. Honest? What kind of honesty is coming out of that jackass, geriatric
Oh my
fool?
God.
He said,
Holy.
no. We touched on views. I wanted his views and insights on when we had that guy from Ukraine. I said, we had a gentleman from Ukraine, from Lviv, Ukraine. I said, and what's interesting is he said on my show that he voted for Trump 2 times, 2016 and then 2020. And he switched from supporting Trump to now he said on my show that he's a Joe guy. He's a Biden guy. And then I'm like,
only because it's putting money in his
exactly
pocket to do so.
Yeah, I said the same thing on Clueless Nation. I said people are supporting Biden, okay, in Ukraine because of the funding. When the funding ends, they can care 2 shits about Biden.
Now he had some valid points and he had some unvalid points, and I supported him when he made valid points, and I backed Sauce when Sauce made the point about the trillions unaccounted for being funneled into donors and cronies that, I'm all for sending them tanks and planes and bullets and food so they don't starve to death during the war.
I mean, we have hearts.
But money, no. The money, because Biden is corrupt, Zelensky is corrupt, but please, Putin apologists, Putin is as corrupt as Biden and Zelensky combined.
Oh, without a doubt. Joseph, I even went into saying that, it needs to come from our European neighbors. It needs to come from Europe. It needs to come from all those countries out there, even including our northern neighbor, the great white north, right, of Canada. Canada has to start funding Ukraine. And I was like, how come they can't fund it?
Yeah, I wrote an article on that right when the war first started. So what is Europe waiting for? You can find that on beforeitsnews.com. J. Leonard Detroit is my contributor name there. Please look that and other articles. tinyurl.com/JLD articles will get you there. tinyurl.com/JLD articles. But back to these leftists like this Red Rose group. They think the Daily Kos and Huffington Post and Mother Jones are actual news organizations rather than just left-wing woke-tard loon propagandist sites.
Yeah, brother, right? Oh, brother. But, they were like, they were saying, well, now I'm getting a twister here like Joseph. Oh, there we go. No, I was saying, go into, well, Clueless Nation told me like, well, why do you, I don't get you, Michael. Why do you and the people on your show support Trump and this and that? I said, Trump, let me just say, Trump was not the most perfect person in the world. He's not perfect. No one is. But Trump got shit done. He didn't run on the political machine like every other president before him, both Democrat and Republican. Trump ran this country as a business. That's what this country is. It's a business. It's a giant corporation.
Yeah.
People need to see that.
Trump created a roaring, soaring economy after Barack Obama claimed the disaster he created to be the new norm. Remember that? And the only thing that derailed the Trump roaring 2020s, the roaring 20s again under Trump. like the 1920s, the roaring 20s, and the 2000s again. The only thing that derailed it was the Wuhan virus lab leak and fiasco.
Yeah. And then I go into saying this, listen, and then I'll get off this real quick, guys. And then I go into saying, you can watch the whole episode. I mean, I put a little snippet on Instagram. There's like a little short little snippet. It's like 3 or 4 minute snippet. I didn't want to give the whole damn thing, but it was just a short little snippet. Actually, to be honest with you guys, we're actually doing, because I came into the show like right around like 36 minutes. So I cut the video from 36 minutes on up to the ending part. So that's going to be a Savage exclusive episode I'm going to put in this upcoming Monday. So you'll be able to see that on that. But it's hilarious. I caught all their lies and their hypocrites as an independent media group. And they're like, for example, Michael, explain to me what sets the difference between Trump and Biden. I said, we just had a national disaster in East Palestine. It had to take the former president of Donald Trump to go down there to make sure that the people were right, take money out of his own damn pocket. Okay. It didn't come from lobbyists. It didn't come from special donors. It came from his own pocket, his own checkbook. While you had the current president more worried about banks in Silicon Valley. Okay.
Because they're his donors.
Yeah, Joseph. That separates the current parties now of the Republican and the Democratic parties. That's what separates the difference. I told him right on the show. I said, that's the difference. That's the difference with the modern Republicans, with these fascist, communist Democrats that we have in power right now. They wouldn't give a damn thing. Joe Biden was more worried about licking ice cream.
Let me defend Joe Biden for just a fraction of a second. All right. Now, people attack George W. Bush for not going to New Orleans after Katrina. Well, there's a bit, so Joe Biden doesn't have to go to East Palestine. I'll defend him on that. That's fine. But the big difference here, people, you delusional fucking morons on the left, is that George W. Bush made sure FEMA was ready and poised and got in action the minute after the Katrina waves stopped. And the levee breaks were because of the Democrat leaders of New Orleans continually taking money that was supposed to be used to shore up the levees to use on other priorities, and the levees broke. And East Palestine, all right, Biden doesn't have to go there. I'll defend him on that. But there is no excuse for Pete Buttboy to not have his ass there. Yeah. 3 days, not 3 weeks after it happened.
That's his entire area.
Department.
Yeah, that's his entire area. Joe Biden's lover there, Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he had to be there. Literally had to be there. He had to show.
All right. Now,
support.
Again, technically, it's not a FEMA situation. Okay, fine. You can argue that. I'll accept that. But there is no excuse for the DOT head to not be there. There is no excuse for the entities that regulate the rail industry. And guess what? There was Warren Buffett fuel involved in this accident. Another Democrat donor. So another cover-up.
You notice, Joseph, he's always catering to world leaders, other world leaders. He's always catering to people that are involved in conflicts such as Ukraine and Russia. But he's never worried about like things that may happen here in the States. He's never worried about like things that happen in East Palestine. He's never worried about the border. He's never worried about this and that. He didn't even speak I know he spoke last year about the St. Patrick's Day festivities and everything. I haven't seen one damn speech come out of his mouth today about St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
What the hell is that all about?
And one other thing on East Palestine if you'd read my book, the Tulsa chapter, you knew this was coming. Now, I'm not saying East Palestine was a terror attack. I'm saying that the Tulsa chapter points out, whether by accident or terrorism, and East Palestine was coming. I predicted it. It's in the book. And
there's a lot of connections too, Joseph, with the
Yeah.
derailments. You know, we just had a couple derailments here in Florida not too often, you know, just on the East Coast. Yeah.
And the other thing is the EPA. Richard Nixon properly created the EPA to be a small federal agency. Its only intent and purpose was to deal with environmental protection issues that cross state boundaries.
Well, that was the best policy of Nixon right there. I mean, he had a lot of corruption in his presidency, but I think that was the best thing that he actually established was through the EPA.
Yeah, and again, now the East Palestine thing is affecting the waterway of 5 states. Where is the EPA director? And then the other thing, you mentioned Nixon. I think one of his best policies that he gets attacked for is the opening of China. Now, hindsight is always 20/20. His point, his purpose, his intent was properly sound and strategic at the time. What happened is then the rhinos and the fascocrats then started catering to the CCP at the detriment of the U.S. citizens. So what was a great policy for 25 years that Nixon instituted was then bastardized and destroyed to the detriment of America by rhinos and fascocrats more interested in lining their own pockets like the Biden crime family has.
Oh, by the way, you might like this here, Joseph. By the way, Zelensky is not considered a dictator yet, because the reason for that is I'm told that he's not a dictator, necessarily a dictator as much as Putin, because he was elected through a democratic system. He was democratically elected. So he's not considered a dictator yet.
And I supported his election at first because I thought he'd be a Trump. He was an outsider.
Yeah.
He was a comedian, people.
Yeah, he got too dirty, though.
Yeah, but he's dirty now. He's absolutely dirty. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I don't support the Ukrainian people because the leader is corrupt. But look at Putin. Putin is a real dictator. He's been in charge of the Soviets, I still call them, since 2000. He was elected president. Yeah, like that. He was elected just as Biden was elected in sham elections for 8 years. Then he was prime minister, and Medvedev was his puppet president for 8 years. And now Putin's president again. Putin is dictator, and he pretends to be a Christian. For all you useful idiots buying into that crap about when he says America has left its Judeo-Christian roots, you're too stupid to understand you're being played. He's KGB. He's a Soviet. He knew one of the main reasons the Soviet Empire fell was because of Pope John Paul II and Russian Orthodox Church. So he pretends to be a Christian, gives a little bit of freedoms to the Russian Orthodox Church, and basically turned it into the state church. It is now a nationalist church. It is the church of Putin now.
Yeah. Joseph, I got to get this out here as we close it, guys. There's some breaking news coming in. I don't know if anybody has heard it yet, but there is now a investigation coming through from the FBI, now investigating a Manhattan hotel fire after a Chinese billionaire was just placed under arrest. This is in Manhattan, New York, the Lower East Side. Like I said, breaking news, guys. I want to get it out there. Not sure if anybody has heard it, but it just has surfaced in the last few hours now, with the FBI now investigating a Manhattan hotel fire after a Chinese billionaire. Yeah,
that's
has been arrested.
Interesting. He's actually alive, though, as opposed to all the others that Xi and Putin have actually killed killed, murdered, assassinated.
And it's kind of intriguing too, because it's kind of following up of what we're talking about with China, and exactly.
And one more thing on Putin: when Putin says America's lost its Judeo-Christian roots ways, he's absolutely right in saying that. He's not saying that because he gives a damn about you, moron. He's saying that to make a useful idiot sucker out of you. Wake up. Wake up.
It's too late. I don't think they're waking up or woken, Joseph. They're still in la la land. They'll never understand. It's all a delusion to them. It's one big fucking game. It really is. It's not going to be a game anymore when we go down those crossroads in life and we have to make that ultimate decision, because I think this empire is pretty much at its breaking point. We're at a crossroads. It's either now or never.
Yeah,
really is.
No, your book is absolutely spot on. We are in a cold civil war. Next might need to be a hot civil war if we are to save this republic. Now, I mentioned in an article about a republic, right? Iran technically is a republic. So is Russia and China. But we are the only citizens, we the people, individual freedom republic, where our Constitution guarantees the rights of the citizens and protection against tyrannical government, where all those other republics' constitutions are written to give the state power over the people, and the state the power to let you have whatever rights they deem they'll allow you to have at the time.
Yeah. And according to the clueless fascocrats out there, once again, and this is coming from them, guys, because where I was this past Tuesday night, I was listening to it. I was actually very quiet, which I think I shocked the hell out of them, because I'm usually, loud and obnoxious, and I'm just myself, just like I am on the show. But I was very quiet. I was actually listening to what they were saying, even though they talk over each other and they don't give each other the proper floor. But that's all right. Everybody acts like jackasses now these days. I guess that's the new norm. But they were like, well, Donald Trump goes to these places like East Palestine. He goes to the border. He goes to different areas of concern because he's an opportunist. Oh, yeah, he's an opportunist. So he was elected because he was an opportunist? Yeah. Is that what you're trying to say? He's an entertainer. He's not a real president. He's an entertainer. Well, yeah, he loves the entertainment. He loves to entertain people. Oh, you don't think that he really called Ron DeSantis a groomer? Come on. He's doing that for publicity. He's doing it for entertainment. Yeah. He wants to do that because the liberal cameras are going to go crazy and they're going to melt away. Oh my God, he's calling him a groomer.
Like Joe Biden is an opportunist when he shows up in Ukraine to have a photo op with Zelensky, or he bails out the SVB and others because they're Democrat donors in violation of the FDIC regulations. Because, rules don't matter. Except for you and I. But for fascocrats, there are no such thing as rules. You need a bailout, you get a bailout. Like I've been calling the last few weeks, we need a complete repeal and replace of Dodd-Frank. I opposed it when it was passed. We need a real banking reform bill, not the bullshit Dodd-Frank the left passed.
We need that bill that was reformed under Reagan. I thought Reagan did a tremendous opportunity of a job with the bank reforms in the 80s. Maybe we should kind of piggyback off of Reagan's policy, Joseph. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we need real protections for real depositors, and we need clawback tax authority. Now, like the SVB board and employees all got bonuses. Amazingly, there was money for bonuses when they knew they were going to collapse. All that money needs to be swiped from these woke bastards who put money in their pockets, knowing they were going under, stealing from the average depositor. stolen, and they all cashed in stock right before the collapse. All that money should be taken under Son of Sam laws. That is criminal. They profited from their crime, and that money must be reclaimed and used to give the average depositor.
Oh, yeah. You heard it, guys. Well, I want to thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. I know we kind of went off the rails, as we always usually do.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about St. Patty's Day. So
It's
yeah,
all right.
Go have a green beer.
Go have a green beer. I mean, you see on the graphics here, Savaged Army, keep it savage, guys. That's what we're about. We're about trying to preserve and conserve the American traditional values in this country.
Oh, yeah.